today our learning objective is to learn and to use a rule for adding these endings, the j ending and the ch ending.
It's important for children to learn that, apart from a few common exceptions, a word will usually end in ch following a long vowel sound or vowel digraph, and tch following a short vowel sound. Similarly, words end in ge following a long vowel sound and dge following a short vowel sound.
It's really important that sometimes you give children rules that they can hang spellings onto, because what you don't want is a child thinking that every new word they encounter they have to learn through visual memory. What you want children to be able to do is to start making links between the bits of their learning. So if they learn a rule, then obviously you can apply that rule to many different words, which is really important.
Useful resources for Sarah's lesson might include an alphabet arc, a die with all the different word endings and cards with word beginnings, a sound grid showing different possible endings and cards with corresponding word beginnings.
What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to say the sounds of them, point to them and make that short little vowel sound, so ah, eh, I.
Sarah begins by revisiting the basic vowel sounds. If learners haven't grasped some of the early building blocks of language, they may not understand more complex word constructions.
I think it's really important, again, that you understand that children can discriminate the short and the long vowel sounds, because obviously that was a key part of the learning, because often for children with dyslexia, the learning has been accelerated too quickly for them and they've moved on without having grasped a basic piece of learning. So the main rule to learn, Johnny, is that if you've got a short vowel sound just before the j sound, you need D, E, G, E.
Then Sarah runs a number of exercises to explain the rules which govern the choice of ending for any given word.
The use of the sound poster is good, because what you can do with that is you can keep on referring back to it, and then when you've taught a lesson, if a child's spelling a word or reading a word, you can draw their attention and say, oh, do you remember we looked at that rule last week? What was the rule again? Hang on a second, we can make the ch sound with the TCH or the CH. So let's have a think, what was that rule? So constantly using that overlearning approach and understanding that actually the children might not get something on a first teaching of it, so they might not have fully understood that, and I certainly wouldn't expect to just to move on from that piece of learning and expect the children to have consolidated it. What I would do is I'd reinforce it through dictations. Perhaps when I was reading with the child, I'd say, oh, hang on a second, that's the TCH ending. Oh, look, yes, there's a short vowel sound there, or ask the child why it's ended TCH, so that you're constantly making those links between learning. And you turn over the card, okay, and then you roll this, okay. But is this correct spelling of ridge? No. Why not?
BDG.
Oh, Johnny, you are on fire today, so I can't keep that one, so I put it into the throwaway pile.
A final competitive game where learners have to collect 3 different endings is a good way of measuring what's been learned and reinforcing the principles at a time when attention may be lagging.
Children all learn in different ways, which is why it's really important to use that multi-sensory approach, because some children are very visual learners, so they learn a lot through pictures, so perhaps sort of chaining words or making connections between words with a story and getting them to create pictures is useful. Other children are quite auditory learners, so the syllable approach for them, so breaking words into syllables works. And obviously for all of us, the more ways you use to learn something, the better the learning experience is, because it really helps to reinforce that learning. Okay, it is. You're doing so well, guys. I'm so impressed with you.
So to recap Sarah's approach to teaching DGE or TCH endings. Make sure learners already understand basic vowel sounds. Explain the rules which govern the choice of ending. Create games in which learners can choose the right endings for words. Reinforce the principles in a final competitive game.